Hey guys, so this is kind of a mod I've been debating on doing for a while. I generally drive my S2000 with the top down and just listen to the exhaust of the Tanabe Medallion Touring. Now personally, I think the S2000 sounds phenomenal and I barely listen to the radio. However, when I do listen to the radio, I'm not very impressed with the factory sound system in the S2000. Now my car I bought used from a dealer, and it came with a upgraded JVC head unit. The head unit has USB input and auxiliary input. It does not have Bluetooth. However, I think the head unit's a little older. It might be like 06, 07 range. So the Bluetooth probably wasn't that common back then. I know the Bluetooth comes on a lot of them nowadays. It would be really nice to have so I didn't have to run an auxiliary wire to my phone. But right now I just use a USB drive, a little really skinny one. So anyway, the mod I'm going to be doing today is replacing the factory speakers that are down here with a little bit of an upgrade. I'm not sure if they're going to be an upgrade yet. From what I've read online, these speakers are an upgrade over the factory sound system. I'm not going to be replacing the tweeters up here. My S2000's a 2002, so they actually upgraded the stereo in these cars after 2001, and they put the tweeters in there, and I'm not sure if they changed the door speaker at all, but it doesn't sound too bad right now. However, I think it could be a lot better. I was definitely not going to replace any of the speakers since I barely use them much unless I found something that was really cheap to try. And these parts I'm about to show you are under $45 shipped to my door, Amazon Prime. But basically, these are what they call roadkill fast rings. They're basically just foam that goes around the speaker, behind the speaker, and around the bezel to direct the sound more so to the interior of the car as opposed to losing sound waves through the door panel and everything. Been a lot of good reviews of these on Amazon. People say they make a huge difference. So I think these are $14 shipped. So since I'm doing the speaker upgrade, I figured it would be good to have these as well to maximize it as much as we could here. These here are just your basic plug and play Honda. Metra is the brand, and 72-7800 is the part number on there. And basically all these are just pigtails that connect into your factory wire harness and then plug right into the speakers so you don't have to splice any wires. Definitely a must-have, makes the install very clean. $5 shipped, not a big deal. So right now we're up to just under 20 bucks. And then the speakers themselves that I went with are a JVC CSDR620. I saw another YouTube video by Zent Rose on YouTube here last year, I think, and he chose to go with these speakers. He ended up getting them half price back then for $25. If you look these up on Amazon right now, they are like $22 shipped, Amazon Prime. I really have no idea how they can manufacture something that cheap, and I have my doubts about these since they were so cheap. I mean, each speaker you're paying for is under like $12 a piece, so you would think they'd be crappy, but they have great reviews online, so they say they're an upgrade over the factory stereo. I'm gonna give it a try and I'll let you know my thoughts. So really all you got to do for the install is to pop the door panel off and your speaker will be right there. Popping the door panel off is not the easiest thing in the world because some of the clips get stuck, but I'll show you how to do that real quick right now. So to pop the door panel off, it's rather easy. You just want to get in here with a small flathead, pop these two little pieces out of your handle. That's where your screw access points are. And try not to mark it up too much. I've had mine out a couple times, so they come out pretty easy. These are just the two pieces you're taking out of your door handle there. Once you do that, there's only one other screw. You know, there's two in here, and then there's one behind your handle. So the one behind your handle is hiding right back there, and it's easy to get to if you just pull on this. And then the other two are in these holes right here and right here. And the only other thing you have to take off is this little clip right here. Pop that out with a flathead. And the rest of the door, you kind of just get your fingers under the bottom and pull with even pressure, and all these clips will just pop right off. Don't yank it too far because your controls right here will have a harness plugged in, as well as your speaker tweeter. They'll all have wiring harnesses plugged in, so if you just yank this thing off haphazardly, you might tear something. So once you pop the door panel off, it'll be pretty flimsy here. This piece will come off first, so you just pull your door handle back and you feed this piece through here, twist it, pull up, You can remove that really easy. Once that's removed, you're pretty much home free. You just want to, once all the clips are popped out, I think there's one more over here, yep. Now that they're all out, you can lift up on this panel to get it out of the ledge of the window. And once you lift up enough and slide back a little bit, pop up, your whole door panel should come right off. You just want to undo the connectors, as mentioned, and then you pull your entire door panel off. It's going to be the same operation for the front, for the passenger side as well. Basically, you have a connector here for your tweeter. You got two connectors that plug in here, and then right behind it for your control, your window controls. All right, so this is what your factory S2000 speaker looks like. It's really simple. There's just 4 screws that hold it in, and then your connector on the back side. So you can go ahead and take those out like so. Once those are out, speaker will pop right off, and you'll be able to easily disconnect it right from behind the speaker right there. As you can see, it says Honda on it, and it's kind of a blue on the front. As mentioned earlier, I'd be very surprised if these $20 speakers are a significant improvement over the OEM speakers that come in this $35,000 car new back in 1999. So we'll see. Alright, so here's a quick look at the speakers. These are the covers that go on them if your door panel didn't cover the speakers, so we're not going to be using those. And then these are the 2 speakers themselves, JVC, yada yada. And then these are the connectors. The red ends of the connectors will plug right into the terminals here, and that one looks kind of bent. That's great. Well, let's straighten that one out. No, that's what you get for $20 speakers. Alright, so this here is the OEM speaker, and the OEM speaker on the S2000 is mounted in its own plastic housing from Honda here. So you're going to want to take this out of the plastic housing and swap your JVC speaker in the same housing. Alright, so once you take your OEM speaker out of the plastic housing from Honda here, you're going to drop your new JVC speaker in there, feed the wire right through like that, and then everything will line up perfectly with this speaker on the here. And you'll go ahead and use the 3 screws just like OEM to secure that together, and then pop it right in the panel. So this here is what the JVC speaker looks like inside the OEM housing. Got the 2 leads plugged in, as well as the connector that mates up perfectly with the OEM connector. Totally reversible if you want to. And going to go ahead and put these right in. The roadkill foam is absolutely pointless for this car because you really can't mount the rear one in there, the big piece, because it hangs up and it's crooked on the crash beam, and when you cut it down and put it behind the window, it really doesn't serve any function at all. And the second piece of the roadkill foam is supposed to go on the back side of the speaker, but these speakers mount in the S2000 plastic housing, which already has kind of its own venting and buffer shield, and this already has foam on it to seal it against the metal. So 2 of the 3 pieces can't be used from the roadkill foam kit. The only one you can really use is the one around the outside of the speaker, which I doubt really has any effect at all on the audio quality. So I'll show you that here in a minute once this is installed. Alright, so I'm already running into issues with these stupid little foam insulator pieces on the S2000. This one is the big meaty one that's supposed to go stick to the door panel in there, and as you guys can see, the window, since maybe this car is a lot different than others because the door is so short, the window rolls down all the way halfway to the speaker here, and it's either we put the insulator behind the window, and then we have this crash beam here that doesn't give us a nice flat surface to mount to. So well, I mean, I spent the $14 on this crap. I can't believe I spent $14 on foam, but I'm gonna have to hack them up. If it makes a difference, cool, but I guess it can't hurt. So the only foam I could use for this whole kit was this stupid outer ring. I doubt it does anything as far as sealing against the plastic, so there's really no point to buy them. So if you have an S2000, learn from my mistake. Definitely do not spend the $14 to order this stupid foam kit. It may work well in other cars that have no kind of cage or anything around the speaker, or have a little bit more room with the window not being in the way down there. But for an S2000, absolutely pointless. Do not buy the roadkill foam. Alright, so I got the JVC speaker installed in the driver's side, and I left the passenger side with the factory speaker in there. I sat in the car for quite a while. Of course, this camera's microphone is not going to be any good for picking up audio quality, so I'm just going to describe what I think of them. The JVC ones are not any better than stock. If not, they sound worse. The vocal quality of these JVC speakers sound, you know, almost a little cloudy compared to the stock ones. And I played around with a bunch of different settings and faded it from the right to the left. And honestly, the stock speakers definitely seem to have more bass for the same volume levels, and like I said, the audio was a little crisper, and I just think they're a much higher quality speaker and they sound better, surprisingly, than the JVC ones. But I say surprisingly, it's not really that surprising. I honestly am a little disappointed because I thought they would be a little bit better based on the reviews online, but they must be installing these things into really old cars that have absolutely horrible or blown out stock speakers. But the S2000 stock speakers are very good, in my opinion, if they're not blown out or damaged in any way. I don't know if these speakers are different than the 2000 to 2001 models, but they actually sound pretty decent to me compared to the aftermarket ones. So I'm going to put the stock ones back in. Alright, so that kind of sums up the JVC speaker install. It was a big waste of my time. The foam rings were a waste of my time. The speakers weren't any better, if not slightly worse, than the OEM ones. I would say save your money unless you want to spend a lot more money to actually upgrade the speakers, and I've read online that the Polk Audio speakers that I'm going to put the link in the description are very, very good for the S2000. They also come with the tweeters. They're direct drop-ins, but they're like $168 shipped, so I didn't want to spend that much money on speakers, because in the end of the day, nothing sounds better. No speaker can sound better than the F20 at 9,000 RPM with a nice exhaust and intake. Definitely no speaker can sound better than that, in my opinion. So if you want to spend the $160 for an actual upgrade, be my guest, but I'd rather put that money somewhere else. Stock speakers are back in. Gonna try to sell these on Craigslist or something for like 20 bucks, but who knows. Thanks for watching, guys, as always, and subscribe. Let me know your thoughts on this. Let me know if you've tried other speakers that work well in the S2000 as well, and look forward to hearing from you. Thank you.